We're live, Chris.
Live.
Were we here last week?
Yes, we were.
Or at my house last week? We're back in the yellow.
Holding hands.
Back in our proper yellow look. Not good. We lost our... We're starting to move some stuff around here.
Some of the cabinets are gone, but they found a good home.
Kind of inspired by doing the rag company place. If only I had more time, I would kind of want to go through each room. Because if it were up to you guys, you just live in... Like, you just have all the moving boxes and just walk around them and sit in the middle of them. Like, I don't understand.
Some truth to that.
So, anyway, yeah, what's going on? Anything exciting?
We got a couple super chats here to start out with already.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's nice.
Nice.
So let's start with this one from Jute Wilson.
Okay.
$4.99. That's our buddy in Georgia, who's a Samford alum. He says he's sold on Swiss tracks in the garage.
Okay.
However, what about a concrete driveway? Is it worth a coating or sealant? I'm noticing some wear and stains on a 3-year-old driveway.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never headed down that path. I haven't had a darn house long enough to need to do it.
Didn't you have something in Helen for that you were messing around with?
No. We had a product here that's a concrete sealer. We sealed it. We did the transition section of the. When Mike built that little ramp to go from the yarn building to the regular building, and so that we put some what was that? Comes like Ghost Shield or something like that. We were trying some different concrete sealers. The risk is the end up of making it look weird. But remember old Thompson's water seal? Yeah, that's it. Ghost Shield. They sell it at Home Depot, and so. It's kind of, you can burnish or you can seal, concrete, but I don't know much about that.
Sorry, Jute.
But it's something that can be done. I'm sure there's garage forums and there's more information on it. I just haven't headed down that path. I've had my brick pavers sealed, probably with something really similar.
Second super chat comes from Kevin Graziani, $20 US. Hey, OG crew, we're loving our relatively new garage that your team over at OG designed for us. Do you have any recommendations for a single post lift? It seems like most of the single post lifts on the market are junk.
I've had a bunch of friends that had the AC lift. AC lifts. It's American made, I'm pretty sure. I think it's pretty expensive, but my buddy Tony had one. A couple other friends have had those. We've thought about bringing them in. I don't know why we just haven't gotten there. I think it is, yeah. American Custom Lifts. I think it's called the M1. Yep, that's it. That's the one. I think it's pretty good. But I don't think it's cheap. So it's not super functional to work on. It's more for storage. But it's, I guess if you put it in the middle of the room, you could do some work on it. But it's it's like a 4-post where it's lifting by your tires, not by the frame. So it's not really for doing work. It's for storage.
Sonny wants to know, what's the difference between the darker and the lighter sides of the drying towels?
It's the same stuff. It's just the dye. So having two different sides just helps you stay more organized. But there is no difference in the microfiber content. It's a twist loop. It's a shaved twist loop. So they twist loop the whole towel and then they shave a different section of it, which gives it a little bit different feel. But there's no difference in microfiber. It's the same 70-30. I believe those are Korean towels. And that's a towel that's sewn together. So it's really two towels sewn into one with a suede edge. But the microfiber is the same. It's just the dye. Black dye versus silver. What do they call it? Ice gray dye.
Harley17 says, good afternoon, good people. Is the wand holder going to be a sellable item at some point?
Yeah. Of course, we have the original Mosmatic. We have the new Mosmatic, which is shorter, which is better. And we'll always keep that for people who want the Mosmatic version. And then we have the new sort of, the Obsessed Engineering version of the wand holder that my partner Joe designed. And so we should have those in, Black Friday-ish time frame, sometime around, November, December. So they're the wall mounts, the hose reel mounts, the pivoting hose reel mounts, all that stuff we should have soon.
Brian wants to know if you found any more small defects on the GT3.
No. Yeah, it's just, people read into it wrong. They're like, oh my gosh, she's selling. I'm like, no, I'm gonna. Now I got something to chase. Now that may mean that the car doesn't last for 20 years with me, but who knows? We'll see. That's the cool part about this. People like to really stick it to me, like, I knew you were gonna sell it. Since when is that a bad thing? I just do what I want, whenever I want. Isn't that like the dream in life? So what are you giving me a hard time for? I got you. Oh, you're gonna sell this one too? Yeah, I am. Guess what? I'm gonna sell everything. Everything's for sale. You want to buy something? I just sold my Lady Lake house. It's for sale. It wasn't even for sale, but it's always for sale. And so I got an offer, and I was like, nah, I'm not really interested. And then I really started, then my gears started turning. I'm like, maybe I should do this. If you're Inside the Hex member, you saw this, but I added up what it would cost to do what we did to that house. All I see are the flaws, right? All the next thing I want to do. That's all I see in anything, any car, any house. It's a blessing and a curse. But I wanted to go and price, like, what is this thing worth? If the house was a regular house, so if it was like your house, right? Mm-hmm. The house is probably list for $1.5 million and sell for $1.4 million or something like that. I bought it for $1,150,000. And then I proceeded to spend $850,000 on it. Now, I didn't spend the $850,000. That's what if you, or say someone off the street, bought that house and wanted to do all the things that we did, hired labor out at $150 an hour. So I went and added it up, because a lot of the stuff I get wholesale or some stuff free. Very little do I get for free. Actually, I don't think I got anything for free at that house. I did get the NatureCast cabinets supplied to me for Helen, but not for this house. But I am buying NatureCast. I priced it at roughly what it would cost retail, and then labor, added on to that. And I priced Mike and I's labor at $150 an hour, and I didn't duplicate labor. I just added what I thought we spent on it time-wise, just added it up. And so we had about 700 hours of labor. And then, doing things like the driveway, regrading the backyard, buying new sod, just kind of put in all this stuff. And like the garage alone had 250 plus hours of labor. So really it probably had more like 500 hours of labor because we had multiple people working on it. But what would you have to do if you were just a guy off the street wanting to have that done? You'd have to pay about $850,000 to get the house to where it's at. So you're $2.2 million into the house if you wanted it to be what it is. Now, I can't sell it for that. I could try. I don't think anybody's going to buy it for that. But if you're a person and you wanted otherwise I'm going to rip out all the stuff. I'm going to take out all the garage, take out the lighting, put a couple of light bulbs in. I really can't take out the outdoor kitchen. So, the house actually would probably list for closer to 1.6 and sell for 1.5 because a lot of the stuff I wouldn't be able to take out, and then we try to get it appraised for that. But chances are the person who buys it would just buy that house anyway. And so luckily I have an OG guy who offered me. He said, "Well, since you have the Middleton house, I'd like to buy your house as is with everything in it. And so we're going to leave the plates, the forks. I'm going to take my clothes." I'm taking my 3 Canadian paintings, and leaving everything. I'm leaving the Milwaukee Master Collection, the Sonic Master Collection, the Ego, the Detailing Master Collection. I'm leaving it's basically like an Airbnb on steroids that he's going to take possession of.
Home theater, all that good stuff.
Yep, all that stuff. Yep. The home theater, NAD, the Blue Sound stuff, the cold plunge, everything all set up, all dialed in, ready for him to take it to that next level. 2 things that need to be done. I would want to replace the sod in the front yard and regrade that a little bit, and then the driveway needs to be. They didn't put proper curbing in, so they need to redo the curbing and then reset the pavers. You don't need to buy new pavers. Those are 2 things that were on my list this year to do. I just finished all the glass in the showers, so just paid $10,000 to have all that done, and then paint the interior of the house.
Kevin, who asked about the lift This follow-up here, he said, thanks. I did see the AC lifts.
Yep.
I wasn't sure if it was rebranded Made in China lift or actually made in the USA.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that's a USA-made lift, and I've talked to those guys before. They're like, old school car guys, and so I'd give them a call if I were you, and just to confirm. But I'm pretty sure it's a American-made. Even if it is Chinese-made, as long as it's contract manufactured, it can be okay. But I'm pretty sure that's an American-made lift.
Glamby wants to know, hey, Matt, did you finally cave and get a phone case?
Oh, I was always a phone case guy, and then I tried to roll without one, and I dropped my phone for the first time in my life. This one's got to be changed, though. So I did the Verve Moda Alcantara, and it's about 2 months in, so you'd have to get a new one every couple of months.
And then I think this is Watch Talk here. It says, also, AD offered me a Sea Dweller 43 or a Sub 41.
Nice.
No history.
Wow.
Not sure what to choose. Do you like the Sea Dweller?
I like both of them, yeah. I'd get both of them. Can I have one? Can he offer one to me?
There you go. Buy them both.
Yeah.
Sell one to Matt and
at retail.
get yours for free.
What was he? What were the two watches? A Sea Dweller?
Sea Dweller 43
Yeah.
or a Sub 41.
Yeah, but
Is that
there's a bunch of
millimeter
Submariners.
width that the numbers are for?
That's the size of the watch, dial.
Gotcha.
That Sea Dweller is kind of big, I'd rather have a Submariner if I didn't have one, but it's probably a Submariner date blackface. Yeah. If I was him, I'd buy both of them.
Pablo says, are the OG fridge magnets ready to go on the Rag Company cabinets? Don't forget, you got to watch their videos and catch them. They're going to put something on there. Our buddy Spencer wants to know if we have any updates on the Mosmatic undercarriage cleaner. Curious what the differences are from the old one.
It's the same. There's no change to the undercarriage cleaner. What happened is we had the one that we have in the store was a weird version that they had with their gun. And so I took the gun out and threw them in the trash and made it just the undercarriage cleaner. There's a new version coming out of the gun that we'll be selling separately. That'll add quite a bit of price to the thing. But there's a new not gun but wand. There's a new extension wand where it comes out straight, so you don't have to bend over. But that won't be. We'll have a package with it, but the undercarriage cleaner won't change. It'll just be there'll be a separate wand package that will come out later that you would use with your regular Mosmatic gun.
Overlanding Turtle, with regard to your house, says, are you not leaving the new desktop speakers?
Nope, they're staying.
Oh, man.
Yes, it stinks. I guess I got to get new ones. Yeah, 9 Audio Core staying. Yeah. So, sell the house, pay that house off, transfer my homestead to the new house. I trade a $400 a month yard maintenance bill for a $70 a month yard maintenance bill. I trade a $700 electric bill for a $150 a month electric bill. I don't have an HOA, so there's no HOA fee. That's $2,400 a year that I'm paying HOA, $2,500 a year, and I don't have to deal with it. There's no the property tax is half, insurance is half. What else?
Sound like a normie here.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah. What solidified it? Two things solidified it for me. One, I did Hayfela in the drawers there, and I felt at home, right? Even though I don't have a couch yet. Two, I walked with Kate to school the other day, and I'm like, holy crap! It's like 100 yards, and there's kids everywhere. It's the right thing for the next several years. And my kids, are in junior high and high school. Ryan goes out running around, guaranteed he's going to get all kinds of trouble, which is good. You're going to blow up people's mailboxes and stuffing raccoons in there. So yeah, it's right. And I came home the other day from the Rag Company. I was gone for 10 days, and I came to Lady Lake, and there's no one there. I didn't get home till 11, 12 o'clock. And I'm like, this is not what I want. So I'm going to normie it up, but oh boy, you should see what I'm planning with this house. That's what I'm excited for. So this is Harbor Hills 2.0 without an HOA, with a better yard, a better driveway, a better garage, although the Harbor Hills garage was pretty good. And the house is 600 square feet bigger, so it has a bonus room for me. So instead of me building my office theater here, I'm going to build the office theater at my house. I've got it all planned out.
Yeah, I noticed the title. It's not out yet. I think it comes out tonight or tomorrow for the next video. It's no longer Michelle's house.
That's a good point. Yeah.
It was Michelle's house for a couple weeks. It almost lasted like a month or two.
Yeah, this house is going to get legit. I already met with, what's Patrick's name? Patrick says, you got to look this guy up. Let me look him up on here on Instagram for you.
Patrick something.
If I do this math for me, if I have 5 rows of 8 lights, 8 8-footers, and 5 4-footers, so the row is 10 8-footers, 1 4-footer, and I need a joiner. So let me think about this. So if I have 4 foot, so the 4 foot to 8 foot, I need a joiner. 8 foot to 8 foot, I need a joiner.
Oh, for each one you need a joiner?
Correct, but I don't need joiners for the very ends, right? So for each pair that butts up, I need a joiner. So how many joiners do I need if I have 55 lights? So 5 rows of 11.
5 rows of 11. Okay, so you don't need one on either end, though.
Right. So that would mean I'd remove 10. Yeah. So I would need 40. Let's see. If a row of 11.
5 rows of 10.
A row of 11 has, if you take out the 2 ends, how many connections are in the middle? Is it 9?
See, from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
From 2 to 3. 3 to 4. 4 to 5. 5 to 6. 6 to 7. 7 to 8. 8 to 9. 9 to 10.
And 10 to 11.
10 to 11.
So 10.
Yeah, so 10 per row.
So 40.
No,
I have 5 rows.
No, 50.
Is that right? Yeah, I guess so. Oh, shoot. Let me text him that. I need 50.
All right, now who is this guy, Patrick, you were telling us about?
Oh, yeah. You guys want to follow him on Instagram, just wait. I'll put the video up tonight. Why is Gordon always posting... This is a jiu-jitsu guy. Always posting girls and...
Sure he is.
Gordon loves jiu-jitsu is who I follow. Yeah, that's
all he
weird.
loves.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Patrick. Maybe it's...
There it is. Yeah, Patrick. I need to... What is it? Patrick A. So it's Patrick A. Resendiz. Resendez.
What does he do? What's his deal?
So he is a render guy. So he does rendering 3D kitchen designs on Home Designer, same software we use. And so we did our kitchen in. I'd hired him because I was going to do Harbor Hills, or not Harbor Hills. I was going to do Darlington, and because I wanted to gut that house and make it awesome. And so I hired him like 2 months ago, and we scheduled it for yesterday. And so I said, well, I've already paid him, so why don't we just do the Darlington house? But I'll have a video up with all the links to all this stuff. So if you're thinking about doing a kitchen, it's worthwhile. I think he charged me like $1,500 or something, and we got to like in real time go and design the kitchen. And so I'll put that video up. I had him record it and say, hey, let's put this on YouTube. It was pretty cool.
Got a super chat here, $9.99 from our buddy Spencer. Hey Matt, I'm building a shop soon. Gonna have a 30 by 25 foot coating room, but due to pricing, I'm gonna put my lift, your old one, in there instead of the open area. How high of a ceiling should I plan for?
Well, let's think about the math here. So the lift goes up if it's on the floor. I think it's 78 inches.
It's a 6'6".
Right, and so when we recess it, it goes up to 72 inches, right? Because usually we recess at 4, so it's 78 inches. And then the average car is like say 58 inches from the ground. But that's with the tires, right? And then you say take 10 inches off that. So if you plan for 60 inches, but if you have a truck, you're going to be taller, quite a bit taller than that. So yeah, if you had a truck, I don't know what the height of say a F-150 is from, because what you need is from jack point to roof. So yeah, so a truck, let's say an F-150 is 80 inches. Doesn't matter if it's lifted, because once you get it off the tires, then you only need the, you only need to know from the frame to the roof. So an F-150 is probably, what he was said, 20 inches off the ground clearance, something like that. So if the ground clearance is 20, so that means let's say it's 80, so 60 inches. Yeah, I would plan for 60 inches. So take your 10 inches. So the 10 inches of ground clearance on an 80 inch, so 70 inches plus your 78 inches. So what is that?
148.
What is that? 12 feet.
4.
Yeah, 12'4" at full height. But if you're doing a car, it's going to be a foot shorter than that. So 12 feet. Because you don't have to go all the way up. And he's not as tall as me, so you may not put many things all the way at full height. But yeah, 12 feet would be ideal.
All right, another garage question here from Brendan Crawford. First wash inside my garage this week.
Nice.
It's 20 by 22.
Mm-hmm.
2 walls are drywall.
Yep.
1 wall and garage wall are block.
Okay.
It's painted Harbor Gray.
Yep.
Is it safe if I control the spray, or will the mist damage the drywall over time? Also, it only has a 9-foot ceiling.
Well, the Helen house is all drywall, just regular Harbor Gray flat paint on it, and there's probably been, 200 cars washed in there over the last 2 years, and it's fine. And then, the block will obviously be fine, but no, you won't have a problem. If you're not spraying water all over it, and even if you did hit it a little bit, the drywall is going to hold up for a long time. Now, if it's not conditioned, and let's say you washed it and it's 85 degrees in there and the water just sat in there, I'm sure it could become a mold problem. But if the garage is conditioned or you wash with the door open, you'll be just fine. Just don't spray the walls down. The drywall is going to be okay.
Jason M. says, hey, Matt, what would your wheel coating process be if all you had was a single floor jack? Would you just do one wheel at a time?
Oh, for sure. Yep. Yeah, I'd do one wheel, and then maybe I'd put it back on, right? Let it cure if I was going to do 2 coats. But yeah, I would just do one wheel at a time. Even if you have 2 cars, then you can let it just take forever if you needed to. But yeah, I do one wheel at a time, and wouldn't be a big deal.
Invasion HD wants to know, is there any update on when Colette might be coming out with her video on the house project at the compound?
So we should all launch, I would guess, in about 2 weeks. So Adam's going to do the Build a House in 20 minutes. We're going to launch the experts, the obsession video with Laurel, with Eastside, with Britannia Flooring, and with Chris from Service Plumbing. So that video will come out at the same time, and then Adam and Colette will do a tour, and I'm not sure how we'll set that up. We'll put the Organizing Colette's Closet on Colette's channel. So it's kind of good. We can kind of reinvigorate it a little bit that it took us so long to get all that done.
John Bryan says, hey, Matt, I'm having issues with my latest gallon of drying aid. It keeps clogging spray bottles, and tech support says to strain again. I've done that, but the aid keeps forming a gel surface. Any suggestions?
Is it getting really hot in your garage? I've never had that happen before. Yeah. What bottle are you using? Are we sure there's not an issue with the sprayer? Is it a press-all sprayer clogging up? Or is it just the regular Tolco? Because the Tolco's pretty fine. It may just still have goop in there. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's weird.
RF wants to know, hey, Matt, when is the shirt from Golf Blue Episode 1 dropping? So I just went here. This is Golf Blue Episode 1. We have that shirt.
The dialed in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that shirt.
I'm wearing that shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be referring to another one. Let's see. Philippe has a suggestion. Brendan, change the walls to truss core plastic walls. Expensive, but it's waterproof and it's a nice look.
The problem with truss core is they don't have any system to, they don't put anything in between the tiles. And so when you get them, they're all jacked up. They're all scratched up and gouged up. maybe they might be gouged, but they're scratched. And I talked to them. I said, you guys got to come up with a system for this, because I don't want the walls all scratched up before I even get them on the wall. I would be more inclined to do a pro slat wall instead of the truss core. I was real amped about the truss core stuff, but it's not a terrible option. It's just I just was really disappointed in how it looked. I had a bunch of samples. I have them here somewhere, and then I talked to them about that specific thing. They said, well, we don't really have anything in place, and no one seems to care, so we just send it scratched up.
Invasion HD wants to know, hey, Matt, do you know of any manufacturers that sell upgraded wheels for floor jacks that could make them quieter and less marring on concrete?
No. I mean, the Pit Boss stuff comes with some pretty sweet wheels, but I've never headed down that path of changing out the wheels that came with my jack. Not sure about that one. I'm sure there's some casters you can find, but I don't know.
All right, our Canadian buddy, Mike Monkhouse, says, hey, Matty, when you come to Muskoka, after I win the garage, we'll have to get on the Sea-Doos.
What happens if it's winter?
Yeah, it'll be a very cold ride.
Yeah, maybe it's the Sea-Doo, Ski-Doo, right?
Snowmobile.
They call them the machines. That's what they call them up there. Yeah, snow machines.
Another garage question here from Alex R. If you were the garage giveaway winner and you didn't want to lift, would you get Rousseau or MSS Plus? I'm assuming black is okay on either. I'm curious if MSS Plus is still top, or if you like Rousseau more overall.
If I wanted black, I would do MSS Plus, right? I think a lot of it comes down to how custom do we need to get. That's a darn. It's like asking me to choose one of my children. That's a tough one.
Kate.
Somebody's giving me a real hard time on that. You're saying that anybody who got Sonic is junk. It's like, who said that? I didn't say that. I still have Sonic in my garage. He's like, what does that mean? I was like, I still own it. Well, so you're saying that they're no longer any good. I was like, well, no, I still own it. That means that I still like it. And so then I had to go and explain myself to him because he was getting all worked up. And I told him it was the dumbest comment of the month. He's like, what do you mean? What does it mean when you say you own it? Well, if I own something, that means I still like it. Otherwise, I'd get rid of it. So our entire plan has been from the beginning was to have some sort of mid-tier line, Sabre, now Pro Slat. We have the Sonic line, which is the most beautiful. If you're going to do their tools, certainly if you're considering doing their tools, then you definitely I would want the Sonic stuff. That would kind of push me over the edge. If I was going to do black, then the fit and finish of the MSS Plus is amazing. It really comes down to if you're going to do something custom or you want something off of the normal Sonic setup, then and what they offer, then you would do Rousseau. But know that Rousseau will take you a week to install. Sonic will take you half a day. So there's a lot more work to it. It's not hard, but it's just more intensive than the Sonic stuff.
Glamby wants to know, are there any suggestions for an exhaust on a Gen 2 Raptor? I almost feel like the Raptor sounds like the S55.
Yeah, I wouldn't put an exhaust on it. I don't want to amplify that terrible sound. So, we don't have an exhaust on our Gen 2 Raptor.
Philippe is a big fan of Rousseau cabinets up in Canada. Rousseau all the way. I'm going to win the garage giveaway, and you're coming to Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
Nice. I might somehow this design's taking a little too long. We'll see in July. Yeah.
I'm going to go in December.
Yeah.
Mike P. said, I heard you had an Audi RS4 back in the day.
No, an S4.
I'm curious, how did you like it, and why did you get rid of it? Would you consider a B5 RS4 now that you can import them?
Yeah, definitely no. Stinky old car. The B7 RS4 is already a little dicey. Audis look great. They sound okay. The engines are okay. The interiors are amazing. I love the look of them as they're rolling down the road, but driving them is just terrible. It's a terrible driving experience. It's just so boring. Super terrible steering feel. But man, they look so good, and I get suckered into them all the time. I mean, the R8's a little different, but the S5, the S4, the RSs, the RS7, RS6, it's just, the RS7 I think is hideous, but they're straight line fast. They're very tunable. The Audi's not very friendly to you tuning them, but yeah, I think I wouldn't buy one. And Drew almost tried to get me to buy that red RS4. I'm like, I don't think so. Not for me.
All right, Sam Goldberg asks, have you guys done any testing at all with Kim X Stars and Stripes?
No.
What's this?
I don't see the need.
Touchless?
Yeah. I mean, Built the Hamburger is so good. I just don't know that you're going to be able to beat that. But, yeah, the Chemex guys are in the big rig, cleaning business.
Steve M. says, hey, Matt, when you swapped in the anti-gravity battery and the RS, did you need to reprogram the car's electronics?
Nope. That's a BMW thing, but not the Porsches. You don't need to.
Steven's got a business question for you here.
Okay.
I own a pool repair and maintenance business in Arizona.
Nice.
I've grown where I've stretched pretty thin.
Mm-hmm.
Any insight on knowing if I can afford an employee, or any insight in general when it comes to being a leader?
Some advice that was given to me early on was don't think of employing an employee as you have to pay their entire salary today. Think of it as, can you pay 1 month? And do you think by month 2 that you could start to recover some of what you're paying them because you're able to generate more? So generally, if you're going to start out with hiring your first employee, you shouldn't be thinking about passing off the sales role, right? You should be thinking about freeing up your time so you can talk to more customers. And so you would want to put them into a doing role more than the sales role. So it would have been like me having somebody else make the videos so that I can go do more clerical work. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And so think of it as, okay, I'm going to hire someone. I'm going to pay them, $15 an hour. Or I'm going to pay them $30,000 a year. Don't think of it as I got to pay them $30,000 today. Think of it, I got to pay them 1/12 of $30,000. And when you sit down and get a yellow pad out, I wouldn't spend a lot of time on this, but in an hour you can probably work it out to like how long would it take for you to recover, and then have that employee generate 3 to 5 times more than what you're paying them. Can it generate 3 to 5, or in a perfect world 10 times more than what you're paying them? And that can't be just, well, let me just hire them and give them all the and I just sit around. I'm sure you're not considering that. But you also need to think of it more efficiently. You don't want to teach him everything that you know, because then he's going to want to go do what you do. He's talking to your customers. So you want to silo roles and figure out what's the role going to be, and you need to protect your business future by not teaching them everything you know. That's one of the common mistakes people do when they hire their first employee or think about hiring employees, is that you let them put it all together. Especially if you're doing a service-related business, then next thing you know, they're the ones talking to your customers, and then they're saying, well, he's paying me $15 an hour. He's charging, they'll start to do the math. He's charging $100 a month for this service, $150 a month for this service, and I'm only getting paid, I'm there for an hour, I'm only getting paid 15. And I'm out there, 4 times a week. They'll start to do the math. Okay, so then it's I'm only getting paid for that 4 hours. I'm getting paid $60, and he's charging $150. I could just charge that customer $125, and I'm making twice what I'm making. They'll start to put that together. And they're missing the part. They're missing the relationship. They're missing all the other work, right? All the other stuff you have to do in order to get that. And so you want to make sure that you're not allowing them to put it all together for their own good. Because they can't do what you do, generally speaking. That's why they're working for you, and so you have to understand that you have to manage your employees. Not knowledge. You don't want to hold them back. You want to be cognizant of how they're thinking about you and your business and the service they're providing you as an employer, and vice versa.
Kyle says, hearing Maddie cutting on my beloved S4 is a knife to my heart. LOL.
I want to love it, man. RS3, RS4, RS5. I think RS5 is a great looking car. I had an A4. Michelle had an A4, and I had an S4 at the same time, B8. And it's just now if I lived up north, I'd always have an S4. So that way I could put some Blizzaks on it or some what are the Michelin Alpinas and go roll around in the snow, no problem. But it's not a great driving experience in comparison to, say, a BMW. Same thing, similar with Mercedes. Mercedes is a terrible driving experience.
Adam is in Thunder Bay, which is in Canada.
Okay.
Says, thanks, Matt, again for helping sort out that order earlier this week. A truly classy way to handle it.
What did I do?
I don't know. It's probably me acting as you. So you're welcome, Adam. He says, sorry to our friends down in Muskoka, but when I win the garage giveaway, Maddie is coming to Northern Ontario. And not only do we have Sea-Doos, but we have the best fishing, so he's got to bring Ryan with him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. Will there be an option to do a shopping spree, Mikey wants to know, instead of the garage transformation if you win?
Sure. Yeah. $1,500 shopping spree. I'll keep the rest of the money.
There's a cash prize alternative.
Yeah.
Which you can come and spend here in person if you want. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, have you been looking for the 991.1 GTS?
I haven't been looking recently. I'm in the sell everything phase.
Yeah, speaking of which, someone down here asked about the Rivian. Why you're selling that? I thought Michelle loved it.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we have to make a choice. We don't have to make a choice, but I want to make a choice. The plan with Middleton is because we're going to have a golf cart. We're going to have, Michelle's going to have a car, and I'm going to have a car. And I don't want to park in the driveway if I can help it. And so I'm going to keep the M3 up here, and then the GT3 RS is going to become the mascot of the village's showroom. I'm going to keep it in the darn showroom there all the time. And it's basically going to be in my garage there. Just pull it out whenever I want. I think it'll draw a lot of attention there. It'll be sweet. So we're looking at, Michelle's like, do we keep the Rivian or the Raptor? Raptor's just so much bigger and so much more room in the back, and it's gas. And so if we were going to drive to Helen or drive to Destin or somewhere, or they're driving to football games, the Rivian is just a little bit more annoying to try to charge it. And so they're both worth about the same amount of money. And so we just chose that the Rivian would go. But I love it. It's great. But we have too many cars, so we're going to get rid of a couple of them for a while.
Brian wants to know, when it comes to a road trip he's taken, will Angel Wax Vision help remove bugs from glass easier, or is invisible glass fine for that?
I think both would be fine. I mean, I usually only use Vision when I need a sledgehammer on the interior if I got smeary windows. But I would take invisible glass.
JC wants to know, do you have any recommendations for desktop speakers in the realm of $300 to $500? What are those PSB?
So desktop for his computer, I'm assuming.
He's asking about the
The problem is you need something to power them with, right? So you need some sort of connection device to connect them to the darn computer. So, you could buy, PSB P3s will sound amazing on your desk, but then you need an amplifier. So you need an NAD D3045, and that's $800. You need something that has a USB-C connection that has an amplifier built in. You can't just go right out of the computer. You need some sort of DAC. You need some sort of connector, and the connection is going to be, minimum $500. So you're in a tough spot there.
That's a good segue to F Calibro 23. Can you guys make a better video explaining setting up DACs and speakers to PC/desk setups? Yep,
we're gonna have a big option coming up here soon, and then I'm gonna simplify. I gotta simplify the whole audio solution. The new Blue Sound stuff is amazing. So the new Blue Sound Node has Dirac, which is big news. So you can buy like a set of LYDs for your garage and Dirac calibrate it. That's awesome for $550 for a Node. The new Node Icon has Dirac and it has XLR. It also has USB-C connection. Now that doesn't help the previous guy because it's $1,000 for that sucker. But what I plan to do is do cores. So do the Core 5s, the Core Sub on my new desk and my new office that I'm building, my office theater, and then you would go USB-C out of your computer into the node icon. And so then I have a high-res streamer as well as a really cool-looking box on my desk where I can control the volume from that.
Yeah, saying that reminded me, this guy yesterday purchased the Ultimate Dynaudio Studio monitor solution.
Oh, nice.
So I figured you'd like this. Sort of got that, a Dynaudio Core Sub.
That guy's going to freaking love it.
Out in Portland, Oregon.
Nice.
Let's see here. I can't decide. I'm looking for a fun car for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Gen 2 Raptor or F80 M3?
I mean, a Raptor's not really a weekend fun car unless you're going to go off-roading. Yeah, I just don't like the F80. Yeah, I'd choose the Raptor out of those two.
James King wants to know, is Apex Air Stubby no longer around?
Yeah, I think David pulled the plug on it.
We made the switch to the Ego.
Yeah, Ego took him out.
Alex R. says, I normally use drying aid on glass after every wash.
Yep.
No glass coatings or sealant. It works great.
Yeah.
Would you switch to Clarify Phobic instead, or Traceless, then drying aid?
No, it's not necessary, but doing Wolf's topped with Clarify Phobic is pretty freaking awesome. So that's my go-to, so I would recommend it.
T-Self77 says, hey, Matt, what are you eating this week? Just ribeyes? Any eggs? I'm down 15 pounds after 6 weeks of Carnivore Plus, trying to find the motivation to go super strict carnivore. T-Self, look what you've done.
Yeah, I'm on Carnivore Plus. Yeah, I don't know that I'd say I'm off the wagon, but I've been going back and forth from house to house and do much supplementation. You know, like a little extra cheese. Little extra. I did buy this week. I've been really working out hard, so I added fruit in just to kind of get me motivated a little bit. So I bought some raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, which would be the lowest whatever glycemic fruit you can get. So I bought some of that, and I was eating a little bit of cheese. May have had a few chips the other night. Yeah.
What kind of chips?
Kettle, just regular plain kettle chips.
SM says,
a bunch of them, like 12 bags of them, little bags. Dang,
they're little bags. They don't count the same.
Yeah.
SM says, hey, Matt, as another with vasovagal, I'm happy to hear you starting to do better. Congrats. I, too, have also heard your story is much like mine. How do you do with traveling?
I do pretty well. Part of it has been realizing what helps or what makes it easier, more comfortable. So, getting a car service to the airport, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to rely on anybody else, not putting anybody out. It's just clean, smooth. Cost me another $150, but half the time you're flying, you're spending $1,000 anyway. So, what's another $100 to do it right? It's a cost of doing business, if you will, is the way I look at it for me. It's a cost of keeping me sane. I don't have any problems on airplanes. That's good. I mean, a lot of people have that issue. I can understand that. And then usually when I get to a place, I just Uber, which kind of sucks. It's so funny when you ride with other people, watching them do all kinds of weird crap, which drives me crazy. It helps motivate me. I'm like, I got to get back on the road here because I got to stop riding with other people. But yeah, traveling's usually okay with me. Or our buddy Leo's back at it again. So the Oil and Whiskey podcast. Mm-hmm. You remember Leo, the crazy guy, crazy follower guy. He's convinced that I don't have OCD. I have vasovagal. No, vasovagal is an event, something that happens. It's not a diagnosis. He's convinced. I think he even called my my therapist. He's also convinced that our giveaways are illegal because it says no purchase required. I said, well, yeah, there's no purchase required. You can be a douchebag and send in a note card.
We get lots of those.
And then someone was so mad that, how come you're going to only send one note card? I said, because I don't want Mrs. McGillicuddy winning a garage giveaway, and I got to go out to her house and her trailer somewhere and pretend that this is a follower. So we have figured out how to mathematically, where it's legal, it's proper, but where it's mathematically makes it less likely that somebody who's a cheater wins. But yeah, old Leo's back at it again.
Oh, Leo.
Yeah, he's convinced.
Shrez guy, that's our buddy from Germany last week, wants to know, is there a Euro spec for the Krenzla 1322? I know the 1122 is US spec 1152. Just want to know if Krenzla sells the 1322 under a different name here.
Yeah, I think it's the HD9. There's HD7 and HD9. They're actually both more robust than the 1322 because you guys have 240 volts. So, yeah, the HD9 is the same. The 1152 is the same as the 1122, the portable version. But, yeah, I believe the HD9 is what you'd want. And that thing puts out like 2.6 or 7 gallons a minute, something like that. It's pretty stout.
TR Brian wants to know, what's the best way to power Evoke 10s for a desk setup?
I have Evoke 20s, and I have the D3045, which sounds fantastic. So we can order you one. It's $800, $799. NAD D3045. It doesn't have Blue OS, so you can't like connect directly for high res from your phone. But you could connect via Bluetooth or AirPlay, and then again you're going to use your computer. So you'd go USB C to USB, I believe A. It's printer cable is the input. So whatever that printer, I think it's USB A.
Let's see. Speaking of which, James Strother wants to know, hey, Matt, do you like any of the vintage stereo equipment?
No, I don't. I like as new and shiny as possible.
Also, which subs did you put in Adam's living room?
We put Dolly, what were they? E9, I think. I9, 2 of them. I'm doing in the Middleton living family room, I'm doing PSB PWM3s, the dual 8-inch woofers. What are they? BPS 28, I think, is the model number. I'm doing 4 of those, 2 in the front, 2 in the rear. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Marantz Cinema 30, I believe, because the Marantz Cinema 30 and Cinema 40 receivers both have discrete 4 sub outs, so I could tune and calibrate the subs specifically. So I'm going to do PWM3s across the front stage, PWM3s, and for the rear or side surrounds or regular surrounds. So doing 5-channel surround, 4 discrete subwoofers, and then 4 Atmos height channels are what I'm doing. CS610s, I think, is the Atmos channels. That system's going to be pretty sweet. But upstairs is going to be absolutely insane. Video will be out tonight?
Tonight, I think.
Yeah.
RF clarified his question from earlier about the shirt you were wearing in the video. It's episode 2, which is The Obsession Follows Me Everywhere I Go.
Yeah.
So that shirt is in the store. It's just for right now, it's under the giveaway items. It's not on the main apparel page. So go there and you can find it.
So remember, we have the shirts marked up $15 to give us raffle entries, essentially, giveaway entries.
Zach Meinert, this is timely, says, been watching some APG Bronco builds after you talked about them in a video.
Mm-hmm.
Those 40-inch tires look a bit cartoonish. The 37-inch tires look way better.
I don't know. The 40s are pretty sick.
Are you going out there when?
Sunday.
Sunday.
So I'll be there Monday, Tuesday.
Speaking of the garage giveaway, I was asked to mention this here. What is this?
These are the special edition Technoviolet shift knobs that we did for we were going to do
46.
Yeah. Oh, these are the black ones.
Yeah, these are. Ooh.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that we did them in matte black. So it has a BMW stitching on it. That is the best shift knob I've ever had in my entire life. How many? We have like 25 of these, don't we? I should put that on the Evo. I should put one on the Evo if it fits.
Will it fit a 2001 Lexus?
No.
We can make it work.
Yeah. So manual transmission. The thread pitch is the same as a BMW. So if yours accepts that, It's a giveaway eligible item. We have a bunch of them, and it's from our friends at Racing. It's hands down the best shift knob I've ever felt in my entire life. Does it show what cars it fits in the description there?
Let's see. No, it does not.
Yeah.
That'd be good information to add.
Yeah, we should probably figure that out.
Custom shift knob. Put in your E36. Weighs 0.9 pounds. Nice and weighty.
I mean, it certainly fits every BMW.
Yeah. If you're a BMW owner looking for a nice touch interior.
I hate aftermarket shift knobs, but it's... I should put it on the E92. That thing is so sick.
That's nice.
It changes your shifting feel because it's heavy as crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Weighty.
So we have a bunch of those that you can
that'll get you
get some entries.
Speed Brake Aviation wants to know, is there a special type of drywall or paint to prevent condensation in my garage? I occasionally get some condensation that drips from a furring area on the ceiling of my garage. He's in Austin, Texas.
I mean, it could help. You could do green board or purple board, which is moisture rated. If you really wanted to go, deep, you could do a cement board and tile it. But green board is what I did, like in my wash bay, because I knew it would be very humid out there back in the Woodgate house. But if you look up, most people call it green board. It's just treated. It's still gypsum board. It's still drywall, but it at least has the paper back barrier is treated for mold, basically.
Jeff W. says, I used Built-Hamber touchless prior to GSF last week on the F-150 Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Noticed a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Much better washing experience when doing the contact wash.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Matt.
I think I'm going to be doing a lot less contact washes and doing full touchless, with especially as awesome as our DI system is. So just switch over to DI water. I don't even touch anything except for just scrub the tires real quickly. So don't do anything. Bring your pressure washer out, 2% PIR, panel impact ratio on the Built-Hamber. Hit the whole car dry, including the wheels and tires. While it's doing its thing, I just take my tire brush, just scrub the tires real quickly, then rinse it off, and then blow it off. And because it's DI water, I don't even have to dry it. Now, I would not do touchless and then dry because you may still have sand and stuff left over. But, yeah, man, freaking awesome.
That's what you did last week on the Evo.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And I'm probably every 3 out of 4 washes on the Evo, I'll just do that. And then the 4th wash, I'll dial it in. I'm going to do that to Rivian tonight. Just a contactless, touchless wash. It's amazing. Are we out of stock? Do we sell out?
On touchless? No.
Okay, so we still have some.
Yeah, traceless.
Didn't some of the touchless sell out though? Like the gallons or something? So one of the 2 sold out, I thought.
I'll look and see here in a second. Ben Finner says, thank you for continuing to do these podcasts. Highly engaged with the audience and answering every single question until the end each week. It is no small feat. We all appreciate it. Thanks, Ben. It's fun to do.
What everybody should do me a favor, go into the Oil and Whiskey podcast and go tell Leo he's an idiot. Say, stop stalking Matt, you're a weirdo. He goes away and then comes back. Yeah. When he sees me on other podcasts, he thinks I'm like duping them or telling some fake story or something. He thinks he's figured out he's a super sleuth. Now we got them both still.
Yeah, they're both in there. That's good. Touchless is still in stock for both sizes, yes.
So good. It's so much better than even the first version, and that was great. It's way better than I could have ever imagined. It's so good.
Then he asks, would an E46 M3 with S65 swapped in solve your reservations with the car?
No, because then it's jank.
Mike has a question for you. Matt, have you ever ripped cigs? No offense if you have.
I don't know what that is.
You ever smoked a cigarette?
Oh, no. God, no.
Me either. I used to do 1 cigar a year, but never cigarettes.
No, never done any of that.
Let's see.
Clearly, after I'm like, what are you talking about? I thought he was talking about like a Sig Sauer, gun. Am I shooting?
Maybe it was. I don't know. No, that's an S. That's S actually.
Okay.
Dylan says, would you rather buy an Audi S4, S5, or a Mercedes C43?
Oh, Audi for sure.
Also, what's an ideal scenario for someone to lease versus finance?
Leasing's dicey, especially if you drive a lot. So you need to take that into consideration. because the one time I leased a car, let's see, I've leased 2 cars ever.
What did you lease?
I leased an S2000 just based on simply the monthly payment. And then I just couldn't drive it as much as I wanted to drive it because I was driving all over the place. And so I was always worried about the miles. What I should have done is just said, drive whatever I want and just pay the extra at the end. Actually, we leased 3 cars. I leased a Ford Explorer, and I leased a Audi S4. My Audi S4 I leased. The Audi S4 I leased because it was the most insane lease deal ever. So sometimes, because what you're doing with the lease is you are financing the depreciation, right? So there's a money factor, which is your effective interest rate. There's a residual value. And so with that Audi, what happened is the residual value was insane. It was like, I don't know, it was like 85% of the purchase price or something like that. I might be exaggerating, but whatever the math worked out to be, the monthly payment was like $350 a month or something on a $65,000 car. So they were assuming the car was going to be worth like $50 at the end of the lease. And I was actually just able to sell that car early because it was worth the car was actually worth more than the residual value, so I was able to buy it out. So even with residual value being so favorable, and then the money factor was effectively like a 0.9 or something % interest rate. So my calculation, my payments of depreciation was extremely low. So my cost of ownership was low. That's very rare for that to happen. That's just because they wanted to get cars off the lot. And so that can happen sometimes where you do the math and you look at purchasing the vehicle versus leasing the vehicle. The other thing to remember is that when you lease a car, you can deduct, if you have a normal business and you can justify the use of that vehicle for your business, you can deduct the entire lease payment, taxes, insurance, the whole thing. But you can't do that when you finance something. You can only deduct the interest payments because the principal reduction, you can only depreciate a small amount on a passenger vehicle. So now buying an S4 and buying something like that is not very justifiable, unless you have some weird business like mine where you're using it to make content or something like that. But generally speaking, financing is going to work out better for you and leasing is going to cost you more. But sometimes you can just do the math. And you have to make some assumptions. How long am I going to keep this thing? How much am I willing to lose? That kind of stuff. But leasing, don't discount leasing. I mean, leasing can still make sense. If anybody tells you leasing is for poor people, those people are probably poor because they don't understand finance. And if you don't buy your cars with cash, I mean, sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. So that's not necessarily a proper answer. The answer is it depends. You have to do the math and spend some time. There's tons of people out there on YouTube videos that teach you about leasing and depreciation and how it works and how you finance depreciation using money factor and residual value to create the calculation. You can calculate it just like you can calculate an amortized loan on a 5-year or 72-month loan.
Corey has a question about Softex vinyl interior.
Okay.
What's the best interior cleaner / protectant I could use on a 24 Camry with that Softex vinyl interior?
I would use the artificial leather cleaner and artificial leather protector from Color Lock. You clean it with their leather brush, and their cleaner, and then you would follow with artificial leather protectant, and you're good to go.
Kyle wants to know, is there a timeline for an OG vacuum hose cover?
No, we went down that path, but they just don't work very well. And so if we were going to make something, we'd have to do our own.
Philippe, with regard to the garage giveaway, he's already done some of the work for us. He says, I have my design on paper.
Okay.
I'm ready to send.
All right.
We got you, Philippe. Matt, this is from Glamby, who was asking about the Rolexes earlier.
Okay.
If I win the garage,
Yep.
I'm taking the cash, paying off my student loans, and then I'll take you to the AD myself. Seed dwellers for everyone.
It's not that much cash.
Maurizio Meyer says, hey, Matt, have you seen the comments from the Chromatic Garage video on the Giraffe Tools pressure washer?
No.
Let's
Oh, is he saying it's good?
I don't know.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah. But not when he first launched the video, and people were like, yeah, Obsessed Garage doesn't know what they're talking about. It's the worst pressure wash I've ever tested. Hands down. Worst performance. And it's like $500 just buy a Comet, which is awesome. Case closed. This is what I keep telling people. Stop looking for a unicorn. Stop looking for a unicorn. It doesn't exist. We're limited by the simple laws of physics and electricity. You only have a certain amount of electricity coming out of the wall. And you can't rewrite the rules here. That thing is a terrible hose reel. It has terrible performance. And you're buying it from a shady Chinese knockoff company.
Let's see. Keith wants to know, hey, Matt, what's the latest on the Beater Evo? I love that content.
It's great. I'm up to 5,100 miles, just cruising. Yeah, it's out there today. About time to change the oil here soon. I may or may not have parked in the handicap spot.
Technically, you're not in it from what
Right, that's what I did. I'm half on the sidewalk. Yeah. I like that spot. I was gonna check the oil. That's why I parked there. I wanted to remind myself because I keep telling myself check the oil. Check the oil. It's been like 2 weeks, so I'm gonna check the oil.
Rephrased wants to know, does Matt know which model of Newport brass shower head he's using? I watched him install one in the new house.
Let's see. Let me see if I can find that for you real quickly.
Right off.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, what is the model number? I always have to go look it up. I'll tell you in 1 second.
The Neil says, forget the golf cart. You need a hover round to fit in with everyone else in the villages. Which I forgot about those things. Look at that. Ooh.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
come a long way.
Yeah. And you get like a special little tailgate thingy. Let's see.
I feel like you change out the seat.
You could start doing some modifications.
Yeah, do like a Recaro seat.
All right, Newport Brass, model number 2142/26. It's 1.8 GPM, single function, solid brass shower head. 6-inch in size.
What's the retail?
$366.80 on build.com.
Build.com.
Which is Ferguson.com. It's build.com. That's their site. They ship fast. They have them usually in stock. And they have like 20 different colors. Yeah, model number 2142. The /26 is probably for the color. Because I did chrome. In case you're wondering, my favorite hand towel holder is the Brizo Invari 8-inch. Model number 694776-P as in Paul, C as in Charlie. Those are $131.76 a piece. It's an 8-inch hand towel holder. It's pretty nice.
Let's see. Ben says, weather, especially humidity and season changes, keep me happy. I've been stuck in a swamp for 20 years. How much does this affect your mood?
I don't know. I kind of like consistency. But I wonder what it would be like to be in like Southern California where it's the same weather all the time. That kind of appeals to me. Like when we were at Fred's garage and it was the same weather all the time. Actually, it got cold and hot there, though. It normally doesn't. Yeah. But I don't like the whole let's get cold for 6 months out of the year. I don't like that at all.
Detailing Garage says, hey, Matt, I'm 17.
Okay.
Looking for a car.
Yep.
Secondhand is preferred. Budget's $25,000. What would you recommend?
I've said this a bunch. I'm the wrong guy to ask that. 25, I'd look for an Evo or a STI, but then you won't have the money to maintain the darn thing when they break all the time. So then I start thinking about Hondas, but I don't really know Hondas in that price range very well. Yeah, I'm the wrong guy to ask. If you said $250,000, then I'd give you some good tips.
If you got $250,000 at 17, you don't need Matt's expertise.
Right. Sorry, I don't know those cars very well. I'd be looking at, VWs. I'd be looking at Hondas. I'd be looking at, Subarus and try to figure out what I like the most and then kind of work my way through that. So again, I'm not a car reviewer. I'm a share what I love and provide value in that way. And so I don't have a lot of experience in that level of car in the current environment. If you'd asked me 20 years ago, I'd have been a darn encyclopedia. But today, I don't really know the answer to that.
Blues3531 says, have you ever heard of the Geon Silk Dryer drying towel?
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite drying towel I've ever used, and curious if you've used it and didn't like it or have never heard of it.
It's nothing special. It's just a twist loop towel. It was one of the first twist loop towels to come out, but you're paying a premium for buying it from Geon. But the Rag Company's version, Autofiber's version, is probably just as good or maybe a little better. Griot's PFM towel, same thing, is very similar. So it's a nice towel. It's purple. It looks good. But I think Microfiber Madness, Klin, Rag Company, Autofiber, are all going to have a similar towel that's just as good, if not better.
Neil White wants to know, hey Matt, do you have any experience with the newer-ish line of Geon coatings? If so, how are they compared to G-Technic?
Not a lot of experience. The thing I don't like about Geon is that they have frickin' 12 coatings. Like, which one's good? Why do we have 12 coatings? So you're telling me that they're all equally good. Why don't we just have one? That's what I like about G-Technic a lot. They got one coating, one pro and one regular, and then they have their old one that they still have that they just kind of kept. So that's why I've never been a big Geon. I mean, Geon Mose is great, or Mose Evo is great, but I think you can do better with some company that's 100% focused on making their one and only as good as possible. That's why CarPro and G-Technic appeal to me a bit more. You're making an educated guess at best, or you're making an educated decision, I should say, not guess, but a decision at the end of the day. And so that's my choice.
Related to that, Brad says, hey Matt, what are your honest thoughts on ceramic coating for professionals than the average stuff they sell to us guys? Because I think there's a crazy difference in what is actually out there today.
Yeah, I mean, I've railed on this a lot. I don't think the business model is smart. I certainly don't like the business model. The business model, if you're not familiar, goes like this. I am a coating manufacturer. I go out and I try to train and teach a detailer network and create an accreditation process to protect them, right? To protect them from or really to protect the customer, to be able to warranty the product, which I think is freaking stupid. Why are we warrantying something that doesn't need a warranty? And so they create this marketing, what they think is genius idea, and that we have a warranty, which does work for some people. I get it. I have an accreditation process to ensure quality to some extent, or at least a quality control by us having an accreditation process to train and teach the detailers. So you're supporting and contributing to detailers, and then you're protecting them in that you can only get this coating from an accredited dealer. Now, this really started because the original coatings, especially the professional grade stuff, were really hard to install. And so it was largely to protect the consumer from messing up their paint, and then the company's getting sued. And it's just kind of continued. That's become the industry standard. And so then pretty much every coating company has decided that, well, this is the way that we need to do it. And so then each one of them has 300 or 500, or maybe if they're lucky, they have 1,000 detailers that are on their accredited network, and the detailers jump from one company to the next, whoever gives them a better deal. Some are loyal, most are not. And then they reserve their best product, CSU, Moe's Professional. There's tons of different. There's C-Quartz Reserve, C-Quartz Finest. They're no longer hard to install. Almost all of them. Modesta, BCO, whatever. There's all these, the fanciest version of the pro-only network, the pro-only coatings. I'd argued, okay, if you wanted to really do this right, maybe you require the consumer to become accredited, give them some sort of online test or something like that. It would create some buzz, or create some. I think that's what Bradley's doing at with his brand. Is he's selling his flagship coating, but they have just kind of a process to vet people to make sure they know how to use it. And so it's sort of like a semi-pro. You have to kind of get accredited, but not exclusively make it for territories and detailers. And so then what happens is all these companies just try to, convince their people to jump around from company to company, try to come over to our way because we're better and we have a better, pizza party at the end of the year. And so then us consumers, we don't get access to the best products because we're not smart enough. We can't figure it out. It's too complicated. I would argue, just put a disclaimer on there and let us figure it out. So I just think it's a terrible business owner. Why do you want to sell to practitioners only? Practitioners usually don't have a whole lot of money. They're just making a living. They usually complain more if your product isn't perfect because they're building their livelihood off of it, and the pool of people is tiny. It's like, how many detailers are there in the country? 20,000 versus 300 million. So I just think it's a stupid business model. I've urged all of them. Man, you could be the first one to break the mold and say, you know what, we're just going to make our flagship coating available to everybody. CSU, just make it available to everybody. If you screw up your car, you're an idiot. You didn't watch our videos. You didn't tell us you didn't listen on how to install it. So we had this call with a home theater company here recently, and their argument for only selling to installing dealers was that sometimes the HDMI cables used don't work. Have you ever seen an HDMI cable? Like, it's just plug it in. And if you plug it in and you plug it in the other side and it doesn't work, and you make sure the unit's power is on, okay, well, maybe it's the HDMI cable. And they wouldn't let us sell it because of sometimes an HDMI cable doesn't work. I'm like, this is insane. You don't think I can teach? I mean, how many of these people in our comments are doctors, lawyers? They have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, PhDs. I mean, you don't think I can't teach these people how to like plug in an HDMI cable? You don't think we can teach them how to put a coating on where you literally wipe it on and wipe it off? It's so stupid. So stupid. So short-sighted.
Continuing the glass topic, when I coated my Lightning last fall, I did CSL XOV5 on side and back glass. Mm-hmm. Are you saying that Wolf Sinclair Phobic is better or pretty much the same as CSL XO?
Well, if you put CSL XO on the side windows, it'll last a whole lot longer. So that's why most cars I do that, and then use Phobic on that. But Wolf's on the windshield. But if you didn't have that, then that's why I said usually Wolf's on all the glass.
I'm a skilled software developer. Focus is web stuff. Nearing the top of my career.
So I can't teach a skilled software developer how to wipe something on and wipe it off? Are you kidding me?
He's wondering if he can strike out on his own. I don't know who pays for what. Any ideas for a SaaS targeted at businesses?
Wait, say that. Read that whole thing again. I wasn't listening at all.
You heard the first part. He's a skilled software developer.
Okay.
Focus is web stuff.
Yep. Nearing
the top of my career.
Okay.
Wondering if I can strike out on my own.
Okay. Start his own business. Got it.
I don't know who pays for what. Any ideas for an SaaS targeted at businesses?
What you would want to consider is, I was actually talking to my cleaning lady the other day. She has all these ideas. And I told her, I said, look, ideas are cheap. Execution is expensive. You can come up with we could sit in this room here and you guys could probably come up with 50 ideas. I got this money-making idea, right? I'm sure you could come up with at least 10 if I gave you an hour. Everybody can come up with ideas. The problem is some people don't realize that that's easy. The idea part is easy, right? And I'm not saying because he doesn't have an idea. But what I told her was that she was looking at maybe buying this place and turning it into some shop or something like that. And I said, well, what tends to happen for people who have a little bit of they're a little bit entrepreneurial minded, and it has happened in the past where you quit your job, you take out a mortgage on your house, you borrow, cheat, steal, you leverage yourself to the tilt, and then the product takes off and you've got this amazing story. I'm not wired that way. I couldn't do that. And so if chances are if he's topping out, he probably has some free time. You get to a point where you're overpaid and underworked, right? Maybe he's not working as hard as he once did, especially if you're at the top of the food chain in your current career path. And so you probably have some room, even if you don't have a lot of free time. You can manufacture some free time if you like doing something, right? If there's something you like to do. So I would urge you to start, come up with an idea, and I told her, I said, well, whatever your idea is, make sure that it's something you really like doing. If you're going to make something out of nothing, why wouldn't you choose something that you like to do a lot? So that's first requisite. And then actually draw it out. Like, okay, I might like doing this, but how could I make money? How could this actually create a result of revenue or income? Is there a potential result? Is there value that I can provide? Clearly in software, that's an easy thing to figure out. And so then side hustle it. Especially if he's probably making a pile of cash, probably making a lot of money a year, to be able to just shut her down unless he's just super frugal and saved all his money, which I never did. Then you can't just walk away. So I'd be much less inclined to walk away, unless maybe he has a year saved up or something. He has a gap or a couple of years saved up where he's got a runway, and he could kind of go and focus, take some time off, relax, and then turn it loose. But I'd be inclined to side hustle and then execute. And you'll find out if you're an executor. Because a lot of people that are executives, that are top of their class, or maybe they're not top of their class, but they've let's say you got hired into a warehousing company, a logistics company, right? And that logistics company was in business for 25 years, and then you got hired at the top of the pay range because you had demonstrated some skill at your previous job. But you weren't at your previous job or your previous company. You didn't build it. You just kind of came into it at some point and did a good job. And so a lot of people have I found in interviewing and talking with people and people wanting to come work for me. And if they are at the top of the food chain, they're at the top of the pay scale. Most of them didn't actually build anything. And so you have to really be honest with yourself. Did you build something? Or did you just come into an existing architecture and just do a good job managing it? Because those are two totally different things. And so if you're going to head down the entrepreneurial path, are you a good, I don't want to say just is the wrong word there. I don't want to demean here. That's not the goal. Because people that can come into a situation and execute and do a really good job at improving that situation are extremely valuable, but not as valuable as somebody who can build it from scratch. And you might not be the person that's wired to build it from scratch. And that's the part that you have to kind of really sit down and get a notepad out and sort of write this out and figure it out. 1, could I side hustle it? 2, will I like doing it? Will I like doing it a lot? 3, could I actually do this? Am I cut out for this? And then, wouldn't it be great if the side hustle turned into the thing? There's eventually a leap that you have to make at some point, but ideas are cheap. Execution is expensive. It's expensive in your time. It's expensive in you have to have the right personality type. It's not easy. And then you get to the point, like in my case, I've kind of lost a lot of the execution gene because you guys have had to transfer it to you. And so now it's hard for me to get that engine sputtering again. It's like I'm a classic car, right? That used to make like 800 horsepower, and now it's I got a few miles on me. Maybe only make 600 horsepower. It's hard to get that engine turned over, if you will. And it's actually a mistake to run more miles up on something that's worth something now. That's the way I look at it.
Well, our friend Brad Bacon actually chimed in here with some advice too. He said, decentralization through marketplaces are still in style. Find niches, especially B2B instead of B2C, where there's a lot of older people doing old-fashioned business, and disrupt that way. So good advice.
That's essentially what we're doing.
Hey, Matt, have you tried any of the docking drawer products for in-drawer electrical outlets and cable management with tablets and phones?
I don't like that. I don't need that. I only have one thing to plug in. So I like to have it on the top of the table. But I appreciate that. But if you have that much to plug in, you don't need any of that crap. Get rid of it all. You should have a computer and a phone.
What about your hairdryer?
What else you got? What do you have an iPad or a Surface or anything like that?
No.
What would you do with it? I get them. I've had 5 of them. And then I get them because they're cool. It's awesome. And then it frickin' sits on the table. Never use it, right? I mean, you use your laptop. If you're a grown-up, you need a frickin' laptop. If you're a child, maybe you get an iPad. I could understand if you're like a Diamond Travel member, right? Because then you know some of the planes don't have you want to be able to watch whatever you want to watch, and it kind of sucks to watch it on your phone. And you can't download a lot of things on your laptop, but you can download Netflix and stuff like that on your iPad. But yeah, I just don't see the need for those type of things because I don't have that much to plug in. But it's a cool concept.
John C. says, hey guys, I need to create more car storage space in my garage.
Okay.
I'm considering adding a 2-post since I do a lot of car work.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about a 2-post for storage purposes?
It's not great.
And what do you like?
Yeah, it's not ideal. 2-posts are a pain in the butt to get on, get it all centered up and balanced and make sure the thing doesn't freaking fall on the ground. It can work. I understand, the idea here. I would rather have a 4-post with jacks if I'm going to do some work. But, 4-posts have their own clunkiness that make it more difficult. But if storage is the main thing, I would ask myself, what's the most important thing here? What's going to get used more? How much work am I really going to do? If the answer is, look, I'm like 80% storage and occasionally doing something, I would do a 4-post. If I'm doing like 80% work and occasionally storing something, then I would get a 2-post.
Couple quick hitter questions here for you. What's the case that Matt has on the iPhone again?
Verve Moda in Alcantara.
Has Matt used B&W 800 series for home theater?
Yeah, it's terrible. I don't like B&W at all. B&W is not terrible. It's just so blah. It's bright. It's power hungry. The cabinets are okay. Even the big Nautilus and stuff. That it's a lot of money for like mediocre. It kind of reminds me of I guess it would be like Ferrari kind of, like especially on the ultra high end. Just like meh. I could get a Porsche and it's just a better thing. But I can understand why people love Ferrari. I can understand why they would love B&W. I just think there's such better stuff out there than B&W. I just never liked it. I only sold it once for like a year when I think we had it at Worldwide Stereo. I just could never get into it. I just don't like how they sound. I don't like how they look. I don't like anything about them.
All right, Alex wants to know, what's your suggestion for the best outdoor speakers for an outdoor pool area?
Crap, what was that brand? The Sonance I don't like. The best ones are the frickin' Dyne Audio. They were amazing. They stopped making them. We still have some. I think I still have a few pairs left. Not the big ones, but the 6-inch driver ones.
OW6s.
Yeah, OW6s. The OW8s were awesome. I was stupid. I sold them because I thought the Sonances I had were great. Sonance Mariner. Sonance Mariner 6.4, I think they're called, or something like that is what I have, and they're not even in the same league. But there was I was talking to a rep yesterday from Stewart Film Screens, and he had told me this brand, but I can't. It was like New England Audio or something like that, and they spun off some other company and it makes some amazing outdoor speakers, but I'm not sure. If you want to go really high end, look at James loudspeaker. They can make some custom stuff.
Simon says, good morning from a Hex member in Australia.
Nice.
I ordered more OG drying aid and new to me tire coating. The two suppliers down here only have limited stock choices.
Yeah, it's Nick. Yep.
How is OG Australia going?
I mean, I'm kind of holding the guys back. We have the guys ready to go. I just have to get Canada figured out before we turn on Australia. So we have to figure out the website. That's what we're working on right now. But it'll happen pretty quickly once we get Canada rolling.
C5 wants to know, have you used numeric shifters on the 991.2 GT3?
Yeah, it's terrible. Terrible. I don't understand why people like those. It's just so many negatives on something that really doesn't need to be messed with. You know, I had it on the 997 RS, and it's just chattered and caused notchiness. I thought I needed a new transmission. I mean, it's extremely well built. The quality's amazing, but it's like something like don't fix what isn't broken kind of thing.
Anthony says, I'm sad that the valve stem caps don't have the OG Hex logo on top of them. Maybe on another version. We've sold a ton of those things, by the way.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet.
Yeah, 213.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so we had to order more. That's pretty awesome. Bryce did awesome work on those. Let's see. Wayne says, I saw Matt's full touchless wash of the Evo earlier this week and Instabought a built-hamper kit from the OG store.
It's smart, man. We're just scratching the surface of teaching people about this. It's so good. The wash process is amazing. What I want to say was inside the Hex, you can go become a member on YouTube now, too. I think we have 6 members now on YouTube. So you don't get anything special, and you wouldn't do both. It's just we added YouTube as another option where I upload all the vlogs and stuff. I'm doing a vlog today. Lots of new updates.
Ben watched or listened to your Oil and Whiskey podcast. He said it was fun to hear about the old Maddie tweeter sales days on the podcast. Guest experience. Interesting times. Brad says $450 for a shift knob? No, Brad. This one's $325.
Yeah.
There are some, I'm sure, that are thousands of dollars. So this is a bargain. Good evening, gentlemen. Matt, do you have any experience or recommendations for roof racks on sedans or coupes?
Yeah, wrong guy. I mean, I think isn't Thule, Thule, aren't they sort of the standard? Yeah. I don't know about that one.
Ryan wants to know, do you ever miss the GT4?
Not really. No, I think I feel complete with it. Deagle456.
Hey, Matt and Chris, just wanting to shout out the content team. You guys killed it at the Rag Company, and the trio of Mike, and Matt is very entertaining.
Yeah, that turned out great. It was a lot of fun.
Wabas were burning the midnight oil putting out those videos for you guys. Yep, we already answered that. What's your favorite model home air conditioning system? Mopar?
I'm not really sure. I mean, it used to be Carrier and Mitsubishi. Still Mitsubishi on the mini split side, but I think Train has made a lot of strides. And what do you have? You have 3. You have Train, Carrier, and there's one more. What's the other big brand? I forget.
Rheem? No, Rheem.
Yeah, I think maybe not. Yeah, what are the big air conditioning brands? Yeah.
I'm not up to date on my AC knowledge.
Yeah. I don't know. The one I got is junk. So we're trying to figure that out.
What's your 2 cents, Perry wants to know, on Modesta coatings?
I don't get it. Every Modesta coating that I've ever had on a car, not a lot of them, but I've experienced either washing or dealing with the car, I just felt underwhelmed. I don't think they look great. I don't think they work well. They support the detailer a lot. You know, I don't know if they still have the like wet applied where you have to wipe it with a wet towel. They had some crazy process and you had to IR cure it. And I don't know. All that I've seen from them now, I haven't installed one of them, but all that I've seen from them is not great. They've just gotten passed up, but maybe I'm missing something because the guys that do it, the installers install it, love it.
Joshua says, just got my order of a Built-Hammer touchless.
Yep.
Blown away at the performance. Used it on 2 vehicles so far, and it's a game changer. Appreciate the chase of functional excellence.
It's so good.
Nothing but good stuff here.
I feel like an idiot for waiting this long.
Ralph says, I'm looking at Leverack as an option for my standard builder-grade garage.
Yep.
I consider myself handy, but I'm unsure if it's something I can build on my own. And how does it ship? I have a steep incline driveway.
They'll drop it off on your street, and you'll have to carry it up, which won't be that bad because it's only like, come on a crate, and you could, you got this 2 supports, the 4 upright or the 4 cross beams, and then you'll have to, carry up all the other pieces. So,
buddy.
Yeah, they're going to drop it off on the street, and then you're going to have to get it off the street as quickly as possible.
How about putting it together himself? Pretty easy.
Yeah,
for
super
a handy
easy.
guy.
Yeah, very easy. Yep.
This is interesting.
It helps if you have a buddy to help because you got to like hold the 2 uprights and get the cross beams in. But yeah, super easy.
Woody's of Wellington says, I agree with what Matt is saying. I turned a lost art of shoe repair, a cobbler, into a multi-million-dollar business here in Palm Beach County. I like listening to Matt because I apply his methods daily. Interesting. Comeback of the cobbler. Matt, have you seen the previews of the Blue Sound Icon?
Yeah, it's freaking amazing. That's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, it's so cool because it has XLR out. I wish they did XLR out on the sub too, but XLR out so it helps me in the garage. It has Dirac, and then the other cool thing is the regular Node has Dirac as well. So I've got to revamp our whole darn garage audio line, but I'm pumped. And then I can use the Icon on my computer because it has USB-C in. I just wonder how it's going to function. I can't wait to get one.
A couple more here. Hinches says, when it comes to aftermarket car audio brands, which ones do you approve of?
I like Audison, Dynaudio, Morel. Let's see. What other amps do I like? Moscone, of course. Moscone is the standard. Processors, amplifiers. That's pretty much what I stick with. Dynaudio speakers. I do not like Focal. And then JL subs are great. Can never go wrong there. Yeah, I think that's a pretty decent list.
All right, with regard to that, hey guys, I've got limited space in the trunk of my 370Z. Any recommendations on shallow mount subwoofers? My research says the best is Alpine R series, but I'm open to suggestions.
Illusion Audio Carbon series. Check those out. Neodymium magnet. Half a cubic foot of airspace required. Super sick. That's what I have in my GD3 RS. An Illusion 10.
AC, Vox Magna was wondering, Carrier, is that the third one you were thinking of?
No, that was the second. That was the first one.
Okay.
I said Carrier and Train.
And then Yakima also for racks, or Yakima, however you pronounce that.
Oh, yeah, that's the other brand. Yep.
Let's see. If you have a $100,000 budget for a Porsche, which one do you get?
Yeah, you're going to look for a 2015-16. That's going to be higher mileage, probably 50,000 miles or so. But you're going to look for a 15-16 Carrera S or Carrera 4S.
In Miller 15, any recommendations for a good pillow? What's your go-to pillow?
Another good car to look at in $100,000 would be a 981 GT4. That could be sick. Pillow is Columbia. How do I cool? Crap, I never remember the name of it. It's Columbia something or other.
Columbia cooling pillow of some sort.
Thingy, yeah, Columbia. There it is.
Cooling gel memory foam pillow. Comfortable and supportive with cooling and breathable features.
You can only get them on Amazon. It's a little dicey, though, because they're very inconsistent. Sometimes they're thick and hard and annoying, and then other times they're soft and great. So
you do the queen, not the king.
Well, no, the king. I try to do the king. The last set of kings I got are great.
Okay. All right, let's see. What's up, obsessed guys? Is there a reason why the Reels hose for pressure washer in gray has the rough feel to it, unlike the blue hose?
That's just the we chose the crinkle whatever powder coating. I thought it looked better. It's less smudgy. So the blue is the standard color. So the black and the gray is the textured finish, which is I think is better.
Alan wants to know, did you ever get around to messing with the Griot's metering tips?
I did, and I find them useless. I don't need them.
All right, last one here from BW. Congrats on everything. Since we didn't get an official exit interview, what are your final thoughts on the 992? Would you purchase another in the future?
Nope. I'm out.
Done.
I don't love it. Yeah. It's great. It's just, maybe it's too great. I certainly wouldn't want a 992 Carrera. I'd only want a GT3 or a GT3 RS. But I know it's so much money. And I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I feel a little disappointed in myself for not loving it as much. Everybody else seems to love it. I don't know what I'm missing. Maybe I'm just too soft. Too slow.
All right. We will be back next week. You'll be here next week, yeah. Be back for more of your questions. If I didn't get to them this week, bring them next week. But we appreciate all the questions and your comments and all your feedback, as always. So thanks.
Got a little more energy this week. Last week I was dying. What
Come
was wrong with me? I forget what I was doing.
You said jet lag in the comments.
That's right. Yeah.
Just gotten back from...
I slept 11 and a half hours last night because so I went back to 5 a.m. class.
Okay.
So I went 5 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so when I went to 5 a.m. class, I Wednesday to Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But I would stay up. I couldn't go to sleep, because I'm all fired up about getting up at 5 a.m. And so I get up at 5 a.m. but I went to sleep at like 11:45. That doesn't work. Come back, sleep for a couple of hours from the gym, and so then Wednesday to Thursday, I went to 5 a.m. class, but then I was so fired up because I caught the vision for the Middleton house and what I was going to do and the design studio and the OGHQ and all that stuff. I caught the vision for all this, and I just couldn't go to sleep. And so then I woke up anyway, so I went to bed at like 2 a.m., got up at 5 a.m., and so then last night I went to bed at 8. I just crashed and burned. I had like freaking 9 meetings, and then crashed and burned and slept from 8 till 7 today. It was great. So I feel like $1 million.
Nice.
Did 200 and I think 11 wall balls today in the workout. It was a partner workout and Echo bike. So I think I did 200 calories on the Echo bike and 200 push-ups.
How long did that take?
I think it was a 30-minute AMRAP.
Yeah, that's long.
Team of 2. But I'm good at wall balls, and so I would just keep hammering the wall balls. And somehow it ended up we did 50% of the bike and the other, and I did 75% of the wall balls. So somehow that worked out.
It's a wise partner, right there.
So I made sure to go get in the cold plunge because otherwise I'm not going to be able to walk for a week. Yeah.
All right. Don't forget Garage Giveaways live. It ends next Saturday is the last day, so we'll talk about it one more time next week. See you then.
See ya. No office. I'm not building an office.
No office. Here?
Here, yeah. I'm just going to take my desk. I'm like, this is what I like. I just want to be in the garage. So I don't want to spend $200,000 building an office that I don't even want.
We'll put that in my office instead.
And that if I build an office, then guess what? You're going to end up in there.